T1 versus RNG. Game 2 at Worlds. Let's check it out. So we've got owner on Graves. The Graves has gone through the draft. Some might say this is the mistake number 1 by RNG. But they wanted to get winning positions. They wanted to get an Aphelios priority. They want Akali to knock Faker off of Azir. And to get Akali into Victor, which can be a very good matchup. So they've got a couple counter matchups. They've got Renekton, which should dominate into Camille. They've got Viego, which can get the snowball carries if they get that first kill. And Akali just absolutely crushes Victor. You know what? We might just go over here. All right, so early fan out starts. We get the traditional Heimerdinger start. Now he's setting those turrets back in the bushes. This makes sure that they won't just automatically aggro on the minion wave. You can choose to pull the minion wave towards the bushes, and if you do, you'll get the push. We get the late invade. Owner is going to completely step on the Viego from here. They do pull the wave over. Now, these turrets are as far away from the Nautilus as possible. Melee supports rarely want to play against a Heimerdinger. They get outranged. The turrets block the engage. Lots of good things to love about this pushing bot wave for T1. You see they easily get the push. They started off slowly pushing, right? Then they get the health lead and they start pushing some more. Owner going red, Raptors and red straight through across. So he's going to contest Viego's ability to get him on the other side of the map. But with the Heimerdinger and Ashe, right now they're looking to hard push, get that level 2 first. The wave is slightly closer to the turret than they would have liked. Allowing Ming and Gala to have a chance at just being super safe at this level 2. There's nothing really to get from it, except they will get some turret damage in. If they had waited another half wave and waited for the cannon to arrive, then they could have done some serious damage to that plate. Notice that their aggression is going to free up the Graves to play more aggressively. All right, so having that pushing bot side, having that pushing mid means that Graves can own the entire eastern quadrant as the game progresses. So nice job with some aggression there from Viego to deny cannon. And unfortunately, this does leave you with a Camille temporarily or potentially weak side into Renekton. But the other thing you can do with that pushing bot wave is just say, all right, I don't need to deal with them. I don't need to do anything over here. Instead, I can play strong side, play towards the Camille to nullify this Renekton pick and make this the strong side of the map and just ignore the bot side. The big loser in that situation would be Aphelios, right? He'd be stuck just in a pushing lane, very hard for him to get any sort of priority. Nautilus basically will be pinned under turret, will be relatively useless into the Heimerdinger. And of course, you have this pushing matchup where Victor does control the wave and should get a 20 CS lead over the Akali, up to 20 CS, but at level 6, it just gets flipped. The Akali can just kill Victor, and this is true about all these AP assassins, the Fizzes, Akalis. They hemorrhage some early health and gold, but once they get their kit online, they tend to just be very strong into these control mages. You see that with the push priority, right? Victor's can threaten to leave the lane sooner. This allows owner to step up. 2 pushing lanes, right, is the big key that you're looking for out of a draft. Now, a little bit of an outplay there. Wade does outplay owner. But because Victor gets to come here first, he still gets to be strong. Excuse me. Now you might see Faker leverage this health lead, just getting more auto attacks in on Jiahu. Look at Graves helping with the push. This allows him to get over to bot scuttle much easier. Faker, now I would like to see Faker right here helping, coming over, and potentially even getting a ward on this side. Look at the sort of ward that Viego has to place. He has to place it to the right side of mid just to make sure that he's not getting invaded again. Graves is already up 3 camps. Now, one of the things you can do with Heimerdinger also in the bot wave, your turrets, whether or not they continue hitting, which they do for 4 seconds after you leave them, they also just soak up a lot of damage. So it's much harder to push through a Heimerdinger that is going through a recall, which is why he's stronger in side lanes, or one of the advantages to playing him in the long side lanes. Even if they try to come up and push, the minions will always get dragged down. They'll always slow down to hit the turrets, which means Heimerdinger and Ashe should be able to get the freest of recalls whenever they want. Bot lane, you've got a 48 to 41 CS advantage. Heimerdinger does have a couple to his name, and that's okay. That's going to happen with the turrets. Totally fine. Look at how aggressive Graves is playing. Now we're getting close. Now Xiaohu did back. He got his Hextech Alternator and level 6. So Victor does need to be careful at this point. He did rush the boots. Wants to make sure that he's able to move away from the Black Mist if Viego decides to try to gank here. Camille uses the presence of Graves to step up, gets a crashed wave in. That allows them together to take this jungle quadrant for themselves. But you're going to see a big rebound right now in pressure. And you have to be careful if you're owner not to overstay here. Because Victor is going to start feeling a little bit weaker right here. Akali does have some kill threat, especially if Viego can be nearby. And Renekton certainly has the kill threat on the Camille here. Now they end up deciding just to go for a smite flip. I would have liked to see Viego duck in under, get up by the Raptors. Now you're going to start dealing with this where owners can hit level 6. Potentially. Let's see, how much bar does he have? No, not quite enough. Pass through. Let's see if they share experience. It'll just happen naturally. This is something you should always do. You just increase the experience in your game. Your solo laners get 93% of the value of the experience in their lane. And you each get 71% if you share. So you can turn 93% into 142%. Just 50% more increase, just like that. So you should do it whenever you can. A lot of people in your games might not understand this, and they may get kind of fuzzy over it, but it is just better. Now, I like what Graves does here. By hitting it one more time, and because he has red buff, it's going to aggro towards him again, which means that even though they've rotated 4 people to this quadrant, it is spending more time down, which delays the Viego from being able to take it. Those are the sort of min-maxes that you see from absolute master players. That is a masterclass right there. The perfect optimization. All right, Victor's still playing up. Akali not feeling comfortable yet. Maybe looking for just that first full spike to get the rocket belt. I'm surprised that she hasn't used ultimate just to get chunks out of Faker, right? Because you can go for a 60% trade and be totally happy. Not even looking to use teleports or anything. Just get a health lead, right? You don't need to kill them entirely. Now her R2 is an execution, so the lower you get them, obviously the better it is. But she should be trying to look to get the health back very soon. All right, Camille, unfortunately busting the shield right there. 20-second cooldown. It's actually 15 now, starting at level 7. 15-second static cooldown on that shield. Those are the trade patterns that she's okay with. In the early levels, 1 through 6, every 20 seconds, you get that shield up. You're fine going into the Renekton. Let's see, muscle them off. They engage on the Camille as they should. Great job. Now, owner does step behind and gets the eye, but he is going to die for this almost. Oh, Heimerdinger with the roam. This is brilliant, but let's see. Oh my gosh, the Viego takes over Graves. He's super strong here. Wei is enormous. And they get the kills. RNG blowing them out at the Rift Herald. However, small victories. Graves did get that gold, right? 200 gold for the smite. And has the eye of the Herald. So they'll be looking to swing. And this is the crux of whether or not you can give dragons what to do. You see teams are heavily prioritizing, right? They don't say, hey, the enemy jungler is on Herald, let's just get dragon. They say, let's contest. because Herald is huge. The amount of gold and spike and map presence that you get from damaging half of a turret's hit points is absolutely astronomical. All right, so we get big stun into Heimerdinger ult. That's so good. So clutch that they get that one. Allows them to play aggressively here, but they're unable to get anything left, anything else on the Akali. And meanwhile, this whole time Aphelios was just fine in bot wave. There he goes. He takes a deep breath to decompress. That's Owner, I believe, going, all right, time to flex for the next one. Oh, they're taking aggro. All right, there we go. Camille can drop aggro. Camille's one of the better tower divers in the game. Obviously, she can elastic slingshot to the tower, but then she can also drop the aggro as soon as she's ready to. Now we're going to see what we get. That turret dive is going to lead to a Herald. Let's see. We're going to see one character hitting the first plate, 2 characters hitting the second. Let's see if they do that. No, they just go straight up with 2 at the same time. Largely, this is because of Camille's true damage. They just want to get it right away. That's fine. And they want to probably also get some more gold onto Graves. Your jungler is often your strongest character at this stage in the game. Through till and about level 11, when your solo laners get level 11, and the extra cannons are spawning after 15 minutes, that's when the solo laners tend to get stronger than the junglers. Let's see how Faker does this. Nah, he's just going to die here. Absolutely. That's pretty far out pressed, but look at that ward line that they've got, right? You're playing top side. Victor should have been hovering to the left side of the map, should have given himself a way to escape to the left, going west, because that's where he has vision. He knows that no one came through the Raptor area, and his jungler was topside, and they didn't have any information on Viego, apart from the fact that he did dragons. So kind of a mistake from Faker there. Could have been hovering more left or just straight up playing backwards because their team is on a reset. Nothing left to get in mid-wave. You don't need to press that advantage. Now Zeus going aggressive with the Renekton. Has the completed Divine Sunder, so he's going to be looking for as many of those trades as possible. You see the Umbral Glaive rush from Graves, as everyone should do. If you're playing an AD jungler or support, it is so beneficial. The stats line up with what you're trying to do, plus you're all over the map, so being able to clear wards quickly is just absolutely paramount, and you're always going to want to pair Zombie Ward with it so that you get some lingering vision. If they don't clear it, you end up with superior game states. All right, bot lane, they have normalized the CS, and Aphelios has finished his Gale Force. There's still not much kill pressure, although the all-in would favor the Nautilus Aphelios right here if you got a Nautilus ult fully squarely on the Ashe, but the pushing is just going to keep them buried under turret, and plus you don't really want to have a delayed dive in against a Heimerdinger. Clutch ward right here. Good job. You want to sneak those in, get those whatever you can. If you can get it just a little bit deeper, it tends to always be better. Unless you're on full defense. Good little hovering on the side. Nice job by Camille, though, to get out. Oh, and he goes too far. The ult to stick him there. An overplay by Wei, or at least we can say a miscommunication between Breathe and Wei, because if they were moving together, they'd be strong there. They're going to be strong enough to take down this Gator, and they do. Oh. I'm jealous of that towel sign they've got. That thing was S tier. All right, so 14 minutes, 6 turret plates. That's 960 gold, plus the fact that a turret went down, so we've got that extra 450 gold just floating around. 1,300 in turrets just spread out with SKT. Now you see the Renekton still has a CS lead, just due to being a stronger laner than the Camille. Akali has a CS lead because of that kill that they got on Faker, and on top of the fact that Faker has to be a little bit more cautious now. Not to mention that right when you hit level 7 and you've got that upgrade, or you hit level 9 but you don't have the items, the last hitting with the E isn't as easy, right? You kind of, later in the game it's very easy. You cast one E, it wipes, basically the entire wave. It's very easy to clear things up, but right when you get that upgrade, sometimes the caster minions can stay a little bit short, and there's a little bit of flux to it. Look at the ward line that RNG is kept out, right? Perfectly horizontal from their blast cone over towards Raptors. They're trying to protect this side of the map. They're saying, all right, we want to make sure that Viego has a place to farm. Even though they have a pushing lane here, we're going to control it. Now, it does look like T1 would rather be playing towards the Camille. Camille's going to outscale the Renekton. Ashe Heimerdinger is totally fine. You just leave it alone and it's totally good. All right, Roam timers. Nautilus is getting back. Aphelios is going to come towards mid-wave. I assume we're going to see Akali going to the side. You see Keria in mid, so they're going to try to make a play here on Jiaohu. And to take this opportunity, I'm sure the Victor will stay for a moment. Maybe they go entirely for the Herald before backing. But the Victor does have teleport. So one thing you could do here is push this mid-wave with 1E. Now start roaming bot. And you put the other team in a pincer where you say, I've got the Heimerdinger turrets. You do not want to come into me. If you do, I've got Victor teleport. Victor decides to hover to be there a little bit faster, not have to risk a teleport position. And check this out. They were strong in the Northern River. They were weak on the bottom side. The wards are no longer there, but still it's just residual from last time. They know that no one's been in this river for 3 minutes. They know that it's not warded. RNG goes and takes the dragon. Now, this is very opportunistic. Good play by them to get something, but we're going to see how much stronger the pushing power of Heimerdinger is, especially with the aid of the Rift Herald. Check it out, 4 players on top side. I'd be surprised if they used it on top. No, they go for it right away. They want the spike. They want this as dead as possible. And they do not get the kill on Faker on bot side. This is because of the 2 players spotted bot. They decide to go for true aggression. The Rift Herald will always clear the base turret to under 1/3 health. And because it's under 1/3 health, when it regenerates, it'll only go to 1/3. And they can use this position of strength. Now they're going to say, look at these wards in the northern quadrant. We own the northern quadrant, therefore your left flank will always be dangerous, and therefore we can siege your mid turret. Heimer and Ashe pushing rather safely. Look at Heimer, he just keeps on putting a turret down in between himself and the Nautilus. The Umbral Glaive on Graves is absolutely doing work, right? So they know that they own that spot on the map. Now, potentially a miscue here. Wei is actually getting his full quadrant farm and clearing out vision. Looks like he's prioritizing the vision first. It's kind of inting to step past vision that you know is there. And look at that. They're trying to retake control of this. They're trying to retake northern side. We'll see if T1 responds by flipping to the bot side of the map. Now, you can give a third dragon, all right? What you need to worry about if you're getting a third dragon is fourth dragon. You don't actually care about the third as long as you're making meaningful progress on the game state. What you don't want to have is an even game state where they have 3 dragons. If that comes up, then they can fork you between Soul and Baron, make you choose. They're going for something strong. They're going to get something strong guaranteed. And they can put you in a position where they're forced to go. But let's see the engage. They're going up mid. Renekton late to the play again. And they just brute force this turret down. Heimerdinger ultimate doing work again. They just say, we're taking this. This is ours. Camille steady on bot side. We're going to see who they match up. I'm sure they want Renekton here, but Renekton's rather weak. In fact, Renekton's going to be probably only on 1.5 items as Camille's finishing her death dance, which makes the matchup unplayable for the Renekton. So actually not surprised to see the Akali here instead. If Camille is playing perfectly, they can dodge the perfect execution with a perfectly timed Hextech ultimatum, which serves 2 purposes, right? Obviously just keeps the Akali in place and dodges the majority of her damage. You can also do it very reliably to E2, which is a little bit slower, a lot easier to react to that one. So Baron's coming up. All right, expect T1 to this is going to be their last stint on the bottom half of the map. You see that they swapped Camille away from Akali. They're trying to get Camille into the Renekton. They also want Camille to be the one that's there because she has an easier time engaging if there is a fight. So expect them to make a mid to top strong point of the map. They do put a couple wards out defensively to protect Faker as he pushes out. Now, this is surprising to me. Owner hovering bot side, trying to make a play, but I think Faker's going to call him off and say, yo, it's not worth it. Let's step over. Now, here we go with RNG. They're anticipating that T1's going to make topside, strong side. They're trying to play for a death bush, trying to catch a Graves. They hadn't seen him in a while. Now they do spot him, so they know they can scatter. They were probably thinking that Graves is going to come through here with his Umbral Glaive, and we are going to try to sit on him as he comes up onto our beach. Now that everyone's on the map, Graves is free to move again. We'll see about this dragon, what they do. All right, good presence by Viego. I like the use of that black mist right there, although revealing himself again. They're trying to get that mid push. This is a Nautilus. It's not much damage. Smokescreen is the ideal usage for follow-up. That way the other team does not know what they have. Full engage from the Camille. Renekton's teleporting in. He's a little bit late. 5-1. They're already here. They're going on Xiaohu, but Xiaohu's got that sick damage. They flash away. Victor with the zoning spot. All right, and they end up with 2 for 1. Now that the map is theirs, and only now that it's theirs are they going to go and consider looking at bot side. Heimerdinger is uniquely equipped to beat Dragon. Now when you're placing those turrets down, make sure that the turret isn't the thing drawing aggro inside the radius of the Dragon pit, because it'll knock it out, and Dragon's attack range outranges Heimerdinger turret range. If, however, you can draw aggro first and then put 3 different turrets around on 3 different sides of the Dragon, then it will deal damage. None of them will get splash damage, and you can basically tank the entire Dragon without ever taking damage. Now, a little bit of a mistake and an inaccuracy from Wei there. A panic trying to dash away. Dashing away, all it did was it moved the Hextech ultimatum further up, which created a slight knockback for Ming and Gala. So their response was a little bit delayed because of Viego trying to get out of that. It looks like maybe he thought he could disjoint it, but there is nothing that stops Hextech ultimatum. Not even the unstoppable ults can get you out. Can't teleport. There's one ability in the game, if you know it, and it's only temporary. The Callista ultimate can pull someone out of that Hextech ultimatum, but if they recast it and they pop out, they will land and immediately get slingshotted back into the ultimatum. All right, so we've got this pushing prowess, and they're keeping actually all these people mid. 4 mid, right? Not trying to go to all 3 lanes. Very important, because you want to be strong, right? It's not just that we want to be adequate and we're just pushing waves. Like, it's fine. Bot wave is not our focus this game. We're focused on Baron. We're going to start getting the chunks down. We can do it very healthy because of the Heimerdinger. Bot wave does not particularly matter. Now, if bot wave had more turrets down, they might spend some time sending a Victor down there just to prepare a slow push, something that is going to make meaningful progress in the wave. And look at this. They transition their strength. RNG had to react. They've got no presence in mid because they've lost the push. They've got no presence at Baron because the lights got turned out on them. And T1 uses this window to go over and claim the dragon for free. Completely uncontested. Purely done with wave management and pushing champions. This was done with 4 people mid, not with 3. And they're able to push RNG out to get that dragon for free. So check out RNG's vision. They're playing super defensively. They've got 3 control wards in the northern quadrant. Very protective. I'd say that's too far. Now, they do have the exposed turret because of Camille's work following up the Rift Herald that was pushed that turret down to 1/3. They don't want to allow for any sort of teleport from Camille that could get back there. So I understand what the thought process is, but it's too defensive. It's too radically defensive. They're going to give up too much space because of how defensive those control wards are. All right, so let's see. We'll pull them apart. Again, wave clear towards the middle of the lane. You've got Graves hovering here. He's not just off farming his camps. He waits for a moment, sees that there's no contest, and then goes and clears. Now with the mid push like this, They have some time for Graves to go get his red or give to Ash, although I would expect them to give it to Graves. It looks like they're giving it to Ash, though. Camille's going to annihilate this 1v1 now that the Death's Dance is complete. And they're going to go again. Look at this. Mid priority. Hold this bush. Heimerdinger death bushes. Look at all that extra damage, although he does shield the majority of it. They do whittle away at it. And now Victor with his super long range can help to control this area. Look how much effort they put in there. 2 wards, a control ward, a zombie ward, and 3 Heimerdinger turrets. Hello. All right, mid-push flexes over to the right side. Let's see if they're taking away resources. They may be trying to get 1 ward just about in this area, just above the blue. You don't want it to be seen by a control ward that's in the blue pit. Sometimes you do that for your split pusher so that they can see all the avenues that they might get attacked from. Now Graves is here using Sweeper and his Umbral Glaive, clearing out all the vision. They know that they've got another strong point. They have seeded the vision in the northern quadrant, so they say, all right, we'll accept this one. We're split pushing mid and bot, so we've got 4 near mid. I'll control the eastern quadrant this time, and suddenly we can threaten attacks on both sides. RNG reacts by playing defensively and sending Akali over to the far lane. Notice how they do it. It's like a battering ram. Battering ram to break down the door so that you can move to the side and like make sure that you're protecting the battering ram and you're going both sides. Boom, 2 different lanes, owning the area in between, right? The battering ram is not mid. The battering ram is in the quadrant adjacent to their 2 pushing lanes. They're not trying to do 1-3-1. They're going 4-1, playing super strong in the adjacent lane, pushing out RNG with the Heimerdinger, Ash, the vision control, the pushing control that they have. And then they claim their prize once they can threaten being in multiple places at once. This residual control ward still sitting in the wolf pit lets the Camille know that the Aphelios is close by. She takes a moment probably to take blue buff. Complete control using the Umbral Glaive again. Umbral Glaive is up and they have not seen anything, which means that they know that they're in a fantastic state here. Graves always hovering his laner. If the laner wants to go get prio, notice he's not going to the Raptors, and he's not trying to clear Krugs either, right? That belongs to Camille. He hovers his laner as they push in a potentially contested place. He's always there. He's always ready to create a numbers advantage. All right, we've got 3.5 items, 3.5 items, 2.5 on Faker, 2.5 on Ash. I expect them to try to flex once they hit these 3-item spikes. The Aphelios is the big one. They've been funneling most of the farm in the game to the Aphelios. That champion's already on 3, and because of that, I don't expect them to try to force any sort of fight. However, this Sterix Gauge Renekton is fairly weak. 2 items going Gore Drink or Sterix Gauge is playing as a minimalist strat. He really going for as little. It creates as little priority, but allows him to stay alive a little bit longer. But to what end? If you're not a threat, does it really matter? Really not feeling the Sterix Gauge, even post buffs, but this is not post buffs. This is on Worlds patch 12.18. Really despise that second item, Sterix Gauge, and it looks like he's going Guardian Angel 3rd. So Breathe, playing like he's going to be the sacrificial, kamikaze bomber that's just going to dive into the fight, do everything he can to survive. But T1, because Renekton's just constantly pushed back, he is soaking up Camille's push. Camille doesn't really have anything going. There's no way they follow this, right? Are they following it? Zeus missed the W. I'm surprised that they used the Ash ult there. It might have... I don't see a good use for it. The cooldown is low, right? She'll get it soon enough. And it may have just been a tempo play. If she can back right now with Wit's End, then they will feel strong. It looks like they've... Nope, only got pieces. All right, so here we go again. Camille just whittling away at that bot wave. Making progress each time, chipping away. It's like throwing jabs. They control that eastern quadrant, and now the time is come. No, still not yet. You'd like to finish this third item on Victor and third item on Ashe before they truly try to press up. Also, Heimerdinger could easily try to finish his Morellonomicon. Or he could just sit on Oblivion Orb and go for probably Everfrost. But there's game situations where all of them are good. Crown can be good. Ludens can be good. Liandry's is probably the most common because it'll make sure that you have permanent uptime on your ultimate and on your turrets. Plus, they'll deal the burn just with one little hit of 14 damage. You'll still be able to deal, 112 worth of burn. Ashe is backing. Victor is clearing Raptors, so I feel like they've just got to be close here. Continuously with the mid push. Look at the range disadvantage, right? It's only Aphelios on RNG that can clear waves from a distance. They are leveraging this composition to its maximum. And Aphelios is stuck just farming under, not even under turret, but just in his own collection area. All right, Heimer is laying down. Look at this. 4. Look at all that. Even if it's not just the vision, the amount of health points, the amount of auto attacks it takes to clear this area out is impressive, right? The control ward, the turrets, all of this. It's so hard for RNG to get back in here, especially since their only ranged character is stuck cleaning up the wave. They can't come over and do this. Look, check this out. They turn off this ward. They don't kill it. They just walk straight past it. And they're going to burn this thing down. They've got the Ashe spike. Camille is engaging on Way to make sure that he can't go in. Now, he's going to die for this. I would not have used my flash, Zeus. But that Camille ult was used to secure Baron. 1 death is worth it at the moment of taking it. All right. If your 1 death is definitely securing the Baron, it is absolutely worth it. Red team is only going to have a short moment of reprieve on the map, being 5v4. We'll see how they decide to go. They should use this window to try to siege down mid turret. They may decide it's impossible, but if they can get mid wave down, then they can also potentially get deep wards in the southern quadrant and try to play for their real last chance of winning, trying to win a fight at the Dragon Pit and maybe Soul. I believe that's Way realizing that, yep, I got ultimatumed. Okay, it is what it is. We'll get the kill. Graves showing strength here. This is a little bit bizarre. Now, both their teleports are topside, so they could join, and they could make this a 3v1. We'll see if he just goes for a little bit of chunk. Just outside the range of an auto attack. He probably knew he was strong. They saw them clearing vision on the northern quadrant. I love these wards right here by RNG, although they didn't really get anything done with the Camille dead. It looks like they took that time to just kind of reset, slow it down. They got some items. It looks like they've got 3 items on everybody except the Viego, but he's got double defensive items. If they can get the Infinity Edge on the Aphelios, they have a chance of winning a fight. However, I don't think T1's going to give it to him. You have that Art of War quote, to truly dismantle your enemy without shedding blood, right? Without ever fighting. There hasn't really been fights. There's been a threat of a fight. Here we go. They go for the hard engage. They try to go with Aphelios. They've got the knockout. Camille's coming in. They did not get the damage up front. No, they did. But they killed Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger's the least important one. They're going to clean up Renekton easily. Camille should be able to kill Akali here as well. She does get the stopwatch in response to the owner ult, but they are too spread out. That's got to be miscommunication. Like, Way and Aphelios being full health is unacceptable there. If this is your hoorah, if this is your moment, your hallelujah swing, you got to put everything into it. You have to risk your life. Now, it could be that Gala's telling Ming, hey, no, don't go. I've almost got Infinity Edge. Right? That could be the case. But either way, it does pick it up now. They should have put everything on the line. Just staple it to the table and say, let's go. This pressure from bot wave, look at that. They swing someone all the way down. Who needs buffs like a dragon when one Baron is enough to completely dismantle the game. Look at that strength. 2 broken inhibitors. This is checkmate. There is no way back into this game for RNG. 1 inhibitor, there's play. 2 inhibitors, you lose. With perfect play, there is no answer to 2 inhibitors. They just let the supers create pressure. There's no way to both answer supers and threaten to win a 5v5, even if your team is outscaling. They just need to not give you the opening to win the 5v5. So we're going to expect T1 to walk it in bot wave. Let's see this damage. There's not that much damage from the Aphelios. It felt like that could have been more. Akali does get in, but look at Wei and Aphelios. They're completely out of range of this fight. I don't know if Breathe thought that he was peeling by being that far up front, but really he was just a meatball and doing nothing. So check out this vision from T1, suffocating this eastern quadrant. Camille is going to escort the supers in, right? She's totally happy taking 1v1s, although she doesn't want to make a complete all-in skill expression play because that opens the door, right? Even if you're stronger, that still does open the door. And even though she's got Force of Nature, she's got a solid item up on the Akali, there's no real need to press for this. Instead, they push up mid, they use mid to go inside out, then they catch up to their wave, controlling this entire area for vision. You saw RNG trying to get some meager amount of vision in here, but you can't beat the triple sweeper, quadruple sweeper, and umbral glaive from T1. This is what you do when you're suffocating the vision. You keep 1 far side alteration for that need to know moment if it comes up. Now check this out. Camille. Oh, all right, this is an overstep. Okay. You want to bring these minions over and then threaten to T-bone on the engage. An enemy team has to back off to deal with your supers and the threat of you diving. And instead, bloodless, T1 just takes the 3rd inhibitor. Now you've got 6 supers coming into base in 30 seconds. We'll see if they just decide to stay or whether or not they back off for Baron, which is in that same 30 seconds. The tightest win, the tightest win would be to step back a little bit. Wait for these supers to come in. Now, this is the best play from Renekton. Teleport behind them. Try to make a play. They need to step up, but Ming gets caught up a little bit too far forward. You got to crunch. You got to go now, RNG. It's got to be now. It's now or never. Do the best you can. Get everything you can. It's not enough. Breathe. Just not a threat. Look at the health bars. Congratulations. You stayed alive an extra 2 seconds, but what was it worth? Here we go, T1 with the supers coming into the base. Now here we go. Even if they had lost that or even left it completely even or even with 5-4, the supers would be too much to take it. So they pressed the gas right at that moment. Perfect game. So good. So nice. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep it surreal. Peace.